today is National Popcorn Day, and we are popping into history. Celebrity historian Raffi Andonian joins us to break down how popcorn went from an ancient snack to the movie theater must-have and why we still can't get enough.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back. Today is National Popcorn Day, one of my favorite treats. And whether you like it salty or sweet, topped with butter, sprinkled with cheese, there's something about this great American snack.
That I just shovel it into my mouth.
Yeah, I shovel it, especially when I go to the theater.
So much that I will crack my lips on kernels.
And you got kernels like in your doing this the next day?
Bleed, yes.
Yeah.
And as you would guess, this poppable treat has a fun history, but who better to walk us through how popcorn went from the stalk to the movies than celebrity historian Raffi Andonian.
That's right. We love having Raffi on the show, and we sat down with Raffi to learn popcorn's fascinating history. Take a look. It's the sound, the smell, and the snack we all expect at the movies. Celebrity historian Raffi Andonian joins us to pop the history of popcorn and just how far back this favorite treat goes. Hey, Raffi, thanks for joining us.
Hey, I'm popping.
You're popping, all right.
Popping off on a good day. So how did popcorn become a snacking favorite?
Yeah, 14 billion quarts a year that we eat in popcorn in America.
Wow.
Did you know that? Yeah, absolutely.
Yikes.
So it is a favorite snack, but it didn't start that way. Now, you hear some mythology. Oh, it came from the first Thanksgiving, and it was a huge hit in America right away. Either one's true. There's no evidence in Thanksgiving, and there is no evidence that really it was a big hit in early America.
Really?
In fact, it was seen as a low-status food because it was cheap food.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And so it wasn't something that was particularly popular in the early colonial period. It picks up popularity kind of more as we know it in the late 19th, early 20th century with a couple of things. A, the rise of technology. So think about something like this machine over here. It makes it easier to be able to prepare popcorn in mass. So you have the evolution from being able to kind of have it on a sidewalk cart, eventually on, a wagon, a car, etc. And that allows, as you're seeing right there, having it very mobile. That mobility and needing no kitchen and allows it to be, at fairs and parks, etc., right? And the other thing that happens is economic necessity. And then depression comes around. It's one of the luxuries you can afford because it is cheap. The reason it was low-status food now becomes actually popular. And, of course, marketing, going from originally, in the movies, of course, to television in the era of advertising in the 50s and 60s, saying, hey, you can have this popcorn at home just like you have it in the movie theater. And, of course, microwave popcorn as well in the 1980s, which you're holding right there in your hand. So that's how you kind of have that popularity increase.
Let's go back to movie theater popcorn. Yeah. When did that become a thing, us eating popcorn at the movies, and why did it become so popular?
It's so closely associated. Here's my movie theater popcorn, right? That you would think that it was a huge hit at movies right away. It was precisely the opposite. Believe it or not, movie theaters did not like popcorn at first because it was messy and it was noisy.
Yeah.
And think about it early on, silent films. When it's quiet, you'll be sitting there crunching away. You ever been in a movie and there's that kind of brief silence between a scene or between ads and you hear all the crunching? Imagine that for 3 hours in a silent film era. They don't want that. And how about the mess on the floor? Right. Back in the day, those theaters, remember, movie theaters are trying to be like old, beautiful, grand theaters. Right. They're not going to want a lot of garbage all over the place. It's seen as this kind of fancy place to go.
Sure.
But in the Depression, economic necessity, they need extra money. Popcorn is now popular on the streets. People are sneaking them into the movie. Anybody here ever snuck food into the movie theater? Yeah, there you go. People were doing that with popcorn because it was a popular snack and it was banned in the movie theater until the theaters saw that there was money to be made, started to sell lobby rights for those popcorn vendors. And you know who one of those guys was?
Who?
Charles K. Wilson, here in Arkansas in 1930, in the Depression, founder, of course, later of the Holiday Inn. That was his first business, making popcorn at the movie theater. Kid you not, borrowed $50, got a machine, and sold it there. So that's how it starts. Age 17 at the time, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's when you start to kind of have it associated with movies, and then kind of goes and builds from there. In fact, in the Depression, the movie theaters that resisted suffered, and the movie theaters that allowed the popcorn got more people in.
There you go.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that is fascinating. And now you are so associated with going to the movies that you can't go into a movie theater these days without somebody holding some popcorn.
Right. That's right. Movie theater popcorn at home that you can get.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So how far back does popcorn actually go?
Thousands of years,
we've been
believe it or not.
corn
Yeah,
for that
of course,
long?
corn goes back
for years now.
That's right. Now, of course, corn itself goes back tens of thousands of years.
Sure.
But popcorn is a special variety of corn, and it's been found. The oldest found is actually right here in the United States. Believe it or not, in New Mexico. It's about 6,000 years old. Wow. Popcorn, the ears of popcorn.
Wow.
We can find popcorn throughout Central America and into upper parts of South America for thousands of years. When the Europeans came here, early on from Cortez in Mexico City, he notices the Aztecs are using popcorn ceremonially, dressing the various gods with them, like statues of gods, putting it on them for ceremonial purposes.
Oh.
And then, believe it or not, in the colonial period, the way popcorn would have been used if it is in breakfast. Again, not popular in the way that we think of it today,
right.
but when it's being used, they would actually have popcorn with cream and sugar.
Yeah.
Does that sound a little familiar to you?
It
Get
does.
corn, dairy, and sugar. It sounds like cereal today.
Yeah.
Well, the Kellogg's guys, of course, John Harvey Kellogg and his wife, whose wife was a dietitian, promoted vegetarianism, loved the idea of popcorn in the morning as something that was vegetarian and a wholesome grain is what they saw. This is all prior to popcorn becoming a fancy snack, a health food craze, if you will, at the turn of the 20th century. So eventually that's how you get cornflakes, trying to sort of imitate that.
Awesome.
Well, how about that?
That's a lot of history about popcorn.
Eat your healthy grains
That's
with
right.
a bowl of popcorn
Yes.
today.
Hey, I had a friend who's an engineer. He said all you need to survive when he was in grad school was popcorn and milk, the protein and the energy.
I don't know if that's true, but the guy's still around.
Try it out. Good luck.
Thanks,
Well,
Raffi.
thanks, Raffi. Stay with us. We've got more Good Day in WA coming up after this quick break.
Open
Go
up,
on.
Open up.